Samarpana, the Asian Festival of Classical Dance 2015 begins very soon in Singapore, and we spoke to Aakash Odedera, one of the most sought after dancers in the UK. He has a growing international reputation for making and commissioning beautifully crafted dance works, spreading the joy of dance to communities. Well, he's going to be in Singapore very soon performing for us on August 22nd, Saturday, for Samarpana 2015. And of course, Aakash Odedera, who tells us stories through his beautiful dance movements, spoke exclusively to letsthinkaloud.com. So here's the very enlightening conversation that we had with Aakash about his performance that's titled The Rising. Tickets on Systay, get them really fast because this is one performance you would definitely not want to miss. Hi Aakash.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me on letsthinkaloud.com.
Yes, my pleasure.
Alright, so you're going to be coming to Singapore very soon for Samarpana 2015, the Asian Festival of Classical Dance. Firstly, before I ask you about your act at Samarpana, do you want to tell us about your journey as a choreographer and dancer? We've seen some of your acts, they're sensational. But tell us about how did you start being a dancer and a choreographer?
Well, I think dance was always in my body. I always responded to music. I think the vibrations of music in terms of movement. So there's always an interpretation of dance through my body, through my soul. And in terms of a choreographer, I remember playing with little coins, pennies, loose change. And I used to choreograph these coins and imagine that their body is moving around a stage or a space. So at that time, I didn't understand the concept of choreography, but I think looking back at that, at the age of 4 or 3, that's what I used to do.
Wow, beautiful. Lovely. Yeah. So you are coming for The Rising at Samarpana 2015. Do you want to tell our listeners what The Rising is all about? What's the concept?
Well, Rising is a concept of 4 choreographies by different choreographers. One is Russell Malafant, one is Akram Khan, one is C.B. Larbi, and one is myself. So it shows a different palette, a different selection of movement, and I suppose it gives a range because I'm a British Asian. So though I've trained as a classical dancer as well, there's another side of me which is more towards the West. I suppose it shows this range which speaks to both dialects that exist within me, which is the British and the Asian as well. And it really pushes South Asian dance to a different sphere. And that was the idea, and that was where I was challenging myself. And the original premiere was done over 4 years ago, and I think the response is good because it's still going 4 years later.
This is a mix of contemporary and classical dance put together.
That's right, contemporary and classical dance, yes.
Lovely. How did Samarpana happen for you, and what do we see you doing at Samarpana?
Well, I think it's going to be again sharing an insight into what we explore in this part of the world. There's been 5 generations outside of the UK, and I'm the 4th generation. But we're still connected to what we call our, motherland. We're all connected somehow to our motherland. It becomes the sharing of your eclectic experience, as a South Asian 2nd, 3rd generation person. And I suppose it's going to be a sharing of the joy or the spread of South Asian arts and music across the world, and the evolution of that music and dance, which is now finding its new form in society, in Western society, in mainstream society. So it's basically going to be a sharing or a celebration of this work. Some pieces of work will be very intense. Some will be quite mesmerizing in terms of the lights, in terms of the sets, in terms of the stage, and others will purely be simple in terms of the pure energy and pure joy of the dance itself. So it's going to be a good sharing and a very diverse sharing of 4 very different pieces, which I'll be sharing with you guys over there.
Lovely. Do you want to tell us about the music that you're using for The Rising?
Yeah, the music in Rising is especially composed. So one part is pure classical, which is the very basic of sarangi and tabla, and of course the sound of the footwork, the Kathak footwork. And then one of the pieces is made by a very famous composer called Jocelyn Pook, and she's made music for Brick Lane, which was a very popular movie in UK. And she works with Akram Khan a lot, and she's very cinematic in the way she approaches music. So her music has this amazing soundscape, which really creates an atmosphere which goes perfectly with the piece, which is quite dark. The music which is made for Cut, Russell Malafant's piece, is a music which is more electronic and more industrial. So it almost becomes like a cylinder, like a drone, which keeps building and building and building, in a sense of building a cocoon or being confined. And within this confinement, there's a sense of, enlightenment within the music as well. And the last piece is very lyrical, Sidi Larbi's piece, which is about constellation. So it's very poetic, very touching to the soul. And that's made by Olga. All four pieces are very different composers. But in terms of the production value, in terms of the musical production value, we try to keep it high, and we try to keep it very open so that anyone from any background, not just a South Asian background, can feel it and understand it. Because I feel like feeling is the most important thing in any art. You have to convey art without boundaries.
Really can't wait to see this intense piece by you, Aakash.
Yeah.
What's also interesting is that your story is aspirational in more ways than one. So what do you want to say to some of us who face various challenges on our personal or professional front? How do you get through?
I think there's a method in everyone's madness. Sometimes you don't understand your own madness. I really believe that you should really follow through with what you feel from within. Sometimes there may not be a logic. There's no A, B and C path for a dancer or for an artist. You don't go to university, to college, then university and find a job. It's not as simple as that. You have to really follow the path of the heart. And amongst the path of the heart, you find many thorns. You find many obstacles. But those obstacles are only there to help you grow as an artist, and most of all to help you grow as an individual, because it's a journey. Remember, it's a journey of the soul. Any obstacles you face are obstacles which help you strengthen. It comes through in your personality as a human being, and it comes through in your art as well. So I think the best thing I could ever advise anyone is make sure every time you come across a problem, look up at the sky and just smile. Because know that you have the strength to deal with it. Any obstacle, any problem, any day, you have the strength.
Wow, Aakash, can't wait to witness your method to your madness actually at Samarpana. Thank you so much for talking to us this evening, and
My
really
pleasure.
looking forward to having you in Singapore.
Sure, my pleasure. Look forward to meeting all of you guys there.